He reveals himself as the omnipotent potentate. Those are fancy words for saying the all-powerful and sovereign king of every single thing that has been created in all the known universe and in heaven. What should we, as it pertains to our actions, follow in that statement of Jesus? First, our mouths should be shut. When Jesus speaks, his people listen. Where the Bible speaks, his people listen. When we do not listen to the words of God, we're trying to say that, no, Jesus, you are neither a king, nor are you sovereign, because my choices are more important than yours. If we try and buck against what God has said, the sovereign Lord of glory who created the heavens and the earth by the word of his mouth is not going to sit by and do nothing. The Bible is very clear that you are either a friend of Christ or an enemy of Christ, but there is no in between. That is taught in all of the Gospels, that is taught in all of the epistles, and that is taught in the book of Revelation. That if you are not a friend of Christ, if you are not a follower of Christ, then you are an active enemy against the Lord of the universe. That's terrifying. That's absolutely terrifying. Now, I am small and insignificant, but I remember I went through riot control training one time. There was some riots that were expected in Atlanta in the early 2000s. And our military unit was put on call for that. And in order to be able to carry a taser and to be able to use OC spray or mace, pepper spray if you will, right, we had to be maced and OC'd and tasered and all that kind of fun stuff. And we also had to learn how to march as a unit with riot shields, riot helmets, and giant clubs. And I remember after we had done movement after movement after movement, when we become proficient, it was time to put out what they call the Op 4, the opposing force. And I volunteered to be the opposing force. And now understand that I knew every single one of these men who were holding the shields with the helmets and the giant sticks. I knew them very well. And when I stood out in the middle of a field getting ready to pretend like I was a bad guy, and they locked shields together, and they stepped forward in step, in unison with those shields, the very ground under my feet shook. And it was terrifying. Though I knew them, and though they knew me, it was terrifying to think there are 200 men armed with shields and clubs, and here I am standing in a field with a bandana on top of my head. A single man against a couple hundred. That is exactly what it will feel like if all the created universe rose up against one Christ Jesus. In Revelation, it says that when he returns, men and armies will cry out for mountains to bury them because of their fear of the coming Christ, the conquering King, the Lord of glory. That's who we serve if we are Christians. He's not some toy, not some surfer boy, not some hand model. He's the Lord of glory. He gives us 4 commands. Go, make, baptize, teach.